Hello, my name is Domo, and welcome to Microslaughter Community Project. So, just kill the imps basically, open the door, kill the specters. You want to kill both of them before you move on to the next bit. Reason, don't know why. But then you want to grab the chain gun, and usually I just kill everything with the chain gun. Some people switch back to the shotgun, but personally I just like to stick to it. But as soon as those bars lower, just head out, kill the shotgunners. I don't know why I use the shotgun there, but it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's a pretty good demo anyway. So here, a bunch of barrels will spawn along with a ton of imps. So what you want to do is just SSG them really. There's nothing much you can really do about this. So the reason why I decided to do Microslaughter Community Project is because I've done this thing kind of for this year where every month I will play a different WAD that I've basically wanted to play for a while. And yeah, this month, February, because January I had to skip because like real life stuff, and February I'm doing Microslaughter Community Project. As for next month, decided I'm going to be doing the 10x10 project. You'll see those videos when they come out. Anyway, so you get trapped here, just kill the Baron, then go down here for the secret. It's pretty well hidden. It's easy to forget, so just make sure you don't forget it. Grab the rocket launcher, and then just try and kill these revenants whilst they're still in that closet. Although the projectiles can get a bit messy sometimes, because you also do have revenants coming from the other side too, which means they have like a clear view of you when you go into the closet when you try and dodge them. So press all the switches as soon as you can, then just run to the other side and just rocket everything down. Really, it's a pretty straightforward map. I actually like, this is one of the ones that I enjoy. I find overall with like all these maps, I'll probably revisit this when I'm like kind of on the last map, but a lot of these maps are very kind of, it's almost like a mixed bag. Like some of these maps are really good, others of these are just like, like I'm not really too keen on them. Anyway, here we are. So just, you got these Mancubi left, everything kind of infighted and killed itself in the other arena. Just kill the last few enemies and you're good to go. That's the first map, Fire in Your Eyes. It's really fun. There's nothing else I can really say about it. So I guess we'll just move on to the next map. Ooh, map 2. Yeah, this is a really fun one. So what you want to do is just lure the cybers out of that bit. Now, usually I would recommend that you would just get them to infight with the Hell Knights, but what I do here is I try and just lure them right in the center of that kind of area, and then just shoot the pistol, awake all the enemies, and then just kind of let them infight and just pray to RNG that, you know, you get good infighting, because like, here I do this really quickly. Like, this is a 152 I believe, so what I do here is I just kind of like rocket a bunch of Hell Knights that come towards me. Oh yeah, I save that Megasphere because the reason is I'll be taking quite a bit of damage whilst trying to like dodge projectiles and such, and you never know, I could like tank a rocket or something, so I just, yeah, I keep hold of that. But I do this really quick, so by the time like I've done the kind of the first bit, this bit's really annoying to maneuver, by the way. Yeah, it's like 50 seconds on the clock. So this is the last bit and the second bit. I think this is actually harder than the first bit, although the first bit's more RNG. Here you kind of just want to like try and not get cornered. It's easier said than done, funny enough, but this map isn't really too hard. Like, it took me a few attempts mostly because I was trying to go really quick, and I just kept on like running out of ammo, but here I got really good with it. So I try and target the center mostly because it just kills more enemies. Like, they'll run towards the center because, like, you know, enemies move towards the player. That's kind of the whole idea behind it. But I press that switch early so that I can just leave early. And by this point, it's really just clean up. Like, the fight's done. It's only just Barons left. So yeah, I just kill them with the remaining rockets. I almost exit, but one sneaky pinky right there. And that's the second map. So yeah, it was really quick. Again, I don't really have much else to say about it. The visuals are just amazing. This is possibly one of the best maps in the whole WAD. So yeah, on to the next one. Alright, this map. So it's a bit harder than the second one, but it's honestly not too bad. Here again, I use speed strats. I get a bit cornered here. But the trick is you just want to go and press the switch and then just get out of that fight. Really, that's what you do for all these fights, to be honest. Here, just push through the rocket launcher. You could use the plasma if you really wanted to, but personally I prefer kind of the splash damage. And then, yep, you get out of that fight. I missed the switch whilst trying to go for the BFG, but this is probably the hardest part of the map. Just trying to kill these archviles, because, you know, they spread out quite a bit, and obviously, like, you can tank a few zaps, but... Oh yeah, here, I almost died to the Arachnotrons, but I kind of just get my revenge and kill them all. So here, at this point, like, once you've got to here, you kind of just want to go back. Well, you want to go and press the switch over there, and then just backtrack. There is a teleporter that takes you right back to the start, so you can just kill the enemies that you left. That's kind of why I do this route, because it's just quick. Like, this demo, I believe, is just under 2 minutes, so it's fairly quick. Anyway, so you killed the revenants here. Just really, you just BFG everything. It's cleaned up now. Like, once you get to this point, I'm gonna say the map's done, but oh yeah, that Cyber's really scary. It's killed me a few times, and that switch, sometimes for whatever reason it doesn't show up, and I think it's just a line def skip or something, but sometimes it doesn't show up, and well, you get soft locked. Like, there's no way of progressing because there's no way of opening the door. So it's yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's happened like a bunch of times to me, and yeah, that's all I can say. Oh, I almost fell in the death pit there. If you fall in those, it's just game over. And that is Cherry Blossom. It is, yeah, really fun map. Again, not much else to say about it. Like, the first few maps are pretty good. So yeah, I guess it's just on to the next one. Alright, map 4. So, this one, I kinda don't understand how this classifies as slaughter, but I suppose the term is very, it's really hard to determine what is considered slaughter these days, because there's so many kind of variations of it, and I guess this is good enough to kind of fall into that category, but, that aside, I think this map is pretty good. So, here you just get a bunch of pinkies and 2 Hell Knights, really, and you kind of want them all to infight. You want to grab that secret and just hit all the switches whilst, you know, they do the magic. And I guess you can use the Berserk if you really wanted to save ammo, because it's surprisingly tight in this map. Like, you don't get a lot of it, and you may find that you will have to, like, Berserk a few enemies. So just keep that in mind, you know, when you play this map. So here, we're moving on to the next bit, which is just, I hit the switches as soon as I can, and then I punch out the pinkies whilst, you know, the Arachnotron really infights. So, oh yeah, sometimes I like to kill the Arachnotron as well, because, you know, it takes a lot of shells to kind of kill it, and in that sense, you know, by doing that, you can, I don't know, just get out faster. I don't really know why, but here, luckily, they all kind of spawn in, like, at, like, a quick, like, within a quick amount, I can't even say it, within a quick time. Sometimes it takes a while for them to come out, but anyway, moving on. This is the final arena, so here, I just really berserk a bunch of imps whilst going around, and then, I suppose when it's kind of crucial, I move on to the rocket launcher, just grab all the rockets you can, punch all the imps, because they'll take a lot of space, and then when it's just the big enemies left, you can rocket them all down, and you should have, like, enough to deal with everything, because there is a wave of revenants, and then, like, the final wave, which is really easy to deal with, but you should have enough ammo to kind of kill everything. So, like, it's a little bit dehydrated if you're kind of careless with it, but I suppose if you're fairly experienced in the game, you shouldn't have, like, we shouldn't really have any issues with this map anyway. I feel like even for players that are, like, not kind of skilled in terms of, like, difficult maps, they'll have an easy time with this. Like, it's fun, it's enjoyable. I suppose that's what I kind of like about it. So here, I want to initiate the ending sequence here, so I just lower the lift, take a few shots on the Hell Knight to weaken it, and then hit the switch, and I just kind of chain gun everything. And this ending sequence is really cool. Like, it's called Floody Hell because, you know, you see the big wave coming and you're like, oh, the whole place is gonna flood. Anyway, that was that map. Yeah, it was pretty good. I wouldn't really classify it as Slaughter, but, you know, it is what it is. It got accepted, so I guess it is. Now, we're gonna show off one more map for this, and then I'm just gonna call it that. Alright, this map. So, final map of today. I'll show the others, I don't know, next week or so, or the next few weeks. Just depends how I feel, really. But this map is, it's quite specific that I say with this one, because there's a few sort of timed maps within this one, and this is one of them. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of them because, you know, like, I do a lot of speed running, so when I usually get things done fast anyway, so dealing with this sort of stuff, it's a bit irritating, but nevertheless, like, the combat was fun, and the architecture as well. This map is pretty nice. So here, I focus on the Revenants first, because, you know, they do more damage and they're quicker, and it basically just means that if you push them back, then you'll have a much easier time with dealing with the Hell Knights, rather than having to deal with two at once, and just, you know, running out of time before the Archviles come out, which usually they're really easy to deal with. You just kind of single them off. Now, here comes the second phase. What I like to do here is, because, you know, I'm more prepared for it, I try and focus my aim on the Revenants that are stuck in the closet. I just, you know, kill them until basically there's none left, and then I hide in the closet until the Hell Knights come through. I just kill those Hell Knights, really. Just stay in the closet, move out. Like, if you move from side to side, you're very unlikely to get hit. I suppose depends how good your dodging skills are, but like mine, I suppose I think I'm fairly decent. Well, I'd hope so anyway. I've been playing this game for a fairly long time. But yeah, once that's done, just grab the remaining rockets, deal with the two more Archviles that appear. You do get a Soul Sphere, so if you're low on health, make sure you grab that. But I like to save it until really the final encounter, which is about to happen any second now. So here, you get a bunch of imps and a few cybers behind you. You get to telefrag them later on, so don't worry about dealing with them. Just rocket a few imps and infight, really. Or let them infight, sorry, I got lost in my words there. And then just kill the few remaining imps that are standing when you go through. Now, make sure you get out quick, because otherwise you'll just be shelled by all those cyber rockets, and yeah, your run will just be over by then. So here, the second fight, again, it's timed. Really annoying, but it is what it is. I feel like this one is slightly more tedious than the first one, because you also have the damaging floors on top of that. But what you do is you just use the plasma for the first phase, just push through the imps, kill the barons, and then for the second phase I have to switch to the rocket launcher. The reason why is because on the third phase, or the final phase, rather, well, even the final fight, I suppose you could say, you get a BFG, so you kind of want to save those cells for when they're, like, important. And you don't get, like, a ton of cells. Well, you do get quite a lot. But if you go crazy with the BFG, then you don't really get a ton of cells, so it's best to kind of use them religiously, I suppose. Now, here I have a tough time getting rid of the rocket, or rather the cluster of rockets that follow me. I do get rid of a few there, but then I just have to take the teleporter back. I've got so much time in between, because like I use the rocket launcher. It does give you a lot of time to kind of recover and such for this fight. This map isn't hard for me, but like, it's kind of nice to have that recovery time regardless. Now, any moment now, the wall should lower, literally any second, really. Just waiting for it to happen so I can explain what goes on. There it is. So BFG will spawn in, fire one plasma bolt for whatever reason. I was, I guess, a bit too overexcited to get the BFG and just get this map over and done with, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not saying I don't like the map, by the way. I think this is a good map, just obviously it's maybe not my sort of preference map. Like, I'd see other people like having a lot of fun with this one though, and the combat is pretty good. So here, once you just kill the pinkies, focus on the cybers, and just when you think you're done with the map, there's one more cyber you have to kill. And the nice thing about the ending sequence here is that you get to telefrag all the cybers that were in the first arena. And that's the map. Yeah, it's fun actually. Like, I enjoyed it, but it's just obviously with time fights, it does get a bit tedious on my end. But that's all I really have to say about that one, so thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.